Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
I know you gonna dig this.
Happy Saturday, everyone. This is Sucker Punch. It's Sucker Punch Saturday. On a slight delay this morning, we both had some things we needed to take care of. I'll be going out later to the ESPN card in Newark, New Jersey, which I'll be reporting on later, probably tomorrow, or definitely by Monday. It's the summer. It feels like the summer. We're here to knock out all of these sucker narratives that are out there. We're going to protect the people from the sucker punch. It is Sucker Punch Saturday. Joe Habib, how you doing up there in New England, brother? How's it going?
So excited, man. We got Dana White, got the green light. He's promoting the fight ever since he jumped
Oh,
on
Dana,
board.
here we go with the Dana stuff
He
again.
jumped on board. We got Allegiant Stadium. We got the Netflix deal. And
It all came through.
You want
to
to hear
give you guys a little bit of behind the scenes perspectives here. I've been talking to Joe for a while now about how Dana White got fired. Dana White doesn't deserve to promote this event. Dana White isn't a boxing promoter. Dana White has no clue what he's doing. I was going even over one phone call, Joe. Remember when I was going through all of the lists of the venues and how they were booked that weekend and saying that Dana,
you and Eric are haters.
What?
You're haters.
What?
You don't like people from Boston. You don't like people from New England.
We love Boston. The Boston Tea Party is what initiated the Great Republic where we live. You know, they
straw man this.
Huh?
Don't try to straw man this.
The city of Boston gave us the Tea Party, right? They started the Revolutionary War, right? The Redcoats had nothing on the people from Boston. But look, in all seriousness, he is backed by a man who has become not just a serious player, but dare I say, the serious player in the sport of boxing. Of course, I'm talking about Turki Al-Sheikh, who has made a number of fights happen, Joe, that we didn't really see as possibilities for a really long time. Beterbiev versus Bivol. A lot of people never saw that being able to be made. Turki made it happen. Fury versus Usyk. Remember all of the people saying that Fury was running from Usyk. Fury would never fight Usyk. Turki Al-Sheikh made it happen.
He was going to get it done. You don't want to listen.
Right? He isn't able to make the Tank Davis fight with Shakur happen. We'll get into maybe that a little bit later. I don't know if you guys remember that shirt of or that fight, the official shirt, of course, I'm wearing right now.
Retire, man. Tank's going to retire soon.
Well, so maybe we'll get into that later, if not hour number 2. But look, a lot of people didn't think that this was a fight that could be made. Terrence Bud Crawford, who up until very recently was a 147-pound fighter, only recently in his last fight, although it was last year, moved up to 154 pounds, had only one fight at that stopover weight class, and is now going up another 2 divisions. So remember when Conor Benn kept going on about how he's a welterweight jumping up to fight a middleweight? Well, not really. I mean, he did do 2 fights in a row at 154. this isn't a welterweight moving up to middleweight. This is a welterweight moving up to super middleweight, because I don't even think you could really argue that Crawford is a bona fide 154-pound fighter. He's had one fight in that division. So we're going to get into the weight issue. I've got a little clip here, courtesy of Fight Hub, Joe. Don't worry, it's not from anybody else, where Terrence Bud Crawford talks about the weight, right? But before we get into the X's and O's and the weights, and we love to describe all of those issues in boxing, specifically the tactical and the strategic things that go into going into a fight, I do have to ask you, maybe we weren't all that crazy, Joe, because in the last few weeks, we've been saying that this might just be the fight that breaks all records. We're probably going to have to do a reaction video to Pierce Morgan, because Pierce Morgan is actually platforming Crawford and Canelo doing the debate. He only does that for the big crossover fights. This is a big crossover fight, is it not, Joe? Go for it.
Listen, this fight is going to break all records in terms of worldwide viewership. This is going to be the most watched combat sports event of all time. Netflix has over 300 million subscribers. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul had 108 viewers globally, 108 million viewers globally, and 62 million viewers in the United States alone.
Mm-hmm.
This fight, Canelo is big. He's gigantic, right? Terrence Crawford's really, really gotten bigger. He's done a lot of podcasts, done a lot of good stuff on social media. They're already jumping out the gate promoting this fight early. They got one press conference down. They got two more to go. I think they're doing another one in Vegas, and they're doing another one in New York. Are you going to go to the one in New York?
I'm going to be going to the one in New York. The only fight I won't be going to in New York in June or July is the Katie Taylor Amanda Serrano trilogy fight. I didn't apply to cover that fight.
Yeah, because you're sick of it. Because it's twice
I mean, it's 3 fights. I mean,
Yeah.
I saw the first two. I saw the first one live. It was great. I don't think anything could be better than what I saw. And
right.
in my perspective, it's getting a little stale. And it's going to be interesting to see if an all-female card brings out the fight fans in New York City. I don't know if it will. Remains to be seen.
But Netflix is a big deal. It is the largest platform that this fight could have been put on in order to be able to have the potential and the ability to be viewed by the largest amount of people.
Yeah.
And Turki Al-Sheikh knew this. Netflix jumped all over this. Turki Al-Sheikh let the cat out the bag in Saudi Arabia. He said that they're going to be doing some other things with Netflix in terms of boxing as well. So once you bring once you bring the best promoter of all time on board, Dana White, you know what else I read this morning? There's going to be a knockout bonus for this fight. Meaning, if you score a knockout, if Crawford scores a knockout or Canelo scores a knockout, they're going to get a knockout bonus. So that's just like UFC. Already Dana's influence has already worked its way into this event. This is a beautiful thing, man.
So you like the knockout bonus? I don't mind the knockout bonus. I think that's a good incentive, right? So how would you do it? Is it like an extra 5% on the purse that you take away from the other fighter? Like how does that work?
I don't know how much it's going to be, but I would suspect it's going to be substantial because Turki Al-Sheikh only knows how to do things one way, and that is big.
Right. So as I told you, Joe, I've got a little bit of footage here of Terrence Crawford speaking to assembled media that were covering the press conference out there in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Here's Terrence Crawford talking to reporters, vloggers, people in the boxing media, new and old, about this upcoming, I'm just going to call it what it is. I don't even think it's a super fight. It's a mega fight. Here we go.
Alvarez. I just want to jump into dinner last night. How was it sitting opposite the man you're going to go to war with?
Hey, man, get over here. Don't be trying to do no exclusive interviews, man. Get over here. Yeah, mate. Try to drag yourself so you can, yeah. But listen, though, I'm feeling good. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm happy that I'm here, and we're gonna put on a great show.
So we are going to talk boxing, but can I just ask what was on the menu last night?
Man, there was so much food there. I couldn't eat.
Some of these British guys, I know the guys out there in Britain are gonna get mad at me over this. They're like, "Oh, you don't get it. You don't get the wit. You don't get the comedy." I don't get it. I don't know. I don't care what he had for dinner last night, personally. What is interesting though to me, Joe, is to your point, the Terrence Crawford of about 5 years ago, there as even 4 years ago, wasn't really doing stuff like this.
No, you're right.
He's made himself much more available to the media.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I had just ate, so it was kind of crazy.
Did you get the sense that Canelo was perhaps trying to scope you out, or was it just a friendly dinner?
It was a friendly dinner. It wasn't no animosity, bad blood or anything like that.
Was His Excellency trying to probe anything between you, ask some questions that might cause some hairy moments?
Nah, not at all. Not at all. We was all cool.
One of the first videos we posted on Fight Hub of you promoting the fight was you hanging out with the Raza. You've got your Mexican shirt on now. What's your idea behind selling these shirts and promoting the fight in this way?
I got a lot of Mexican supporters. They love boxing. I got a lot of people that I grew up with as, Latino, so, this is for the whole Mexican people that love me and support me.
Are you looking to rile Canelo up with these actions, do you think?
No. Canelo, he cool. He ain't worrying about that.
Do you feel like there's going to be any tension today and at the press conferences across this world tour?
I don't know. I don't put it past anything. It could not be.
And how do you
So
feel?
I wanted to play this as well, Joe, because it's like, look at the state of the media right now. We're 2 minutes and 21 seconds into this thing, and not a single question about the actual fight. They're asking about his food. They're asking about T-shirts that he's wearing. They're asking about questions that will rile you up. I mean, to be honest, I don't blame Crawford for not wanting to subject himself to this for years. But like you said, Joe, this was like a business decision. And to your point, and I think to his actions, it did land him some big fights. Joe, go for it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of clickbaity questions. Like you're just trying. You're trying so hard to look for a soundbite. Just let the video just let it come to you. You're trying to force it. Every question. So you asked 2 clickbaity questions. You couldn't. He didn't take the bait on them.
Mm-hmm.
So change course. Change course. I talk to people about this all the time, right? When someone asks a question and the fighter doesn't want to answer it, he's not going to answer it. So don't try to ask the same question 19 different ways, and try to package it as you're asking a series of questions when you're really asking the same question in 10 different ways. So again, it's just a lack of, I'm going to say it's the lack of ability. Lack of skill. You're just not good at interviewing people.
No. So let's get back to it. I've advanced it a little bit to get kind of the meatier questions here. Let's go.
I haven't been sparring yet. Camp ain't really started yet, so we just getting ready.
Hey, Terrence, any opponents that you feel?
All right, go for it, Joe.
Not to interrupt, but we're in June. We're June 21st.
Mm-hmm.
The fight's September 13th.
Yeah.
It's almost 2.5 months away.
Yeah.
Camp, like, if you knew anything about boxing, you would know Camp did not
Bro, he's on his fucking media tour. Like it's like the pre-media tour.
You're
Again,
asking
the
sparring
dumbass
questions. You're asking sparring questions when, if you follow the sport, you would know that he's months away from sparring.
Yeah. It's absurd. Let's continue.
that you fought before that mimic Canelo's style, either a little bit or have similar attributes to him?
I can't put it like one opponent, but there's things that Canelo do that maybe a couple of fighters does, things like that.
Do you think he's fought someone that has any of the attributes that you have?
Yeah, I believe he fought, a few fighters that, box and got good jabs, movement, counter punch, things like that. That's part of uh, being at the top of, the boxing world. You got the experience that you've been in the ring with a lot of fighters with different styles.
Do you look to this be a fight that will make waves within boxing history? Do you look to some of the fights in the past that have made similar sort of waves in Lamont and Robinson or Hagler and Leonard that have this similar sort of tail to them?
I'm looking forward to it.
What is similar about the tales of those fights with this fights? I mean, I wouldn't say that those fights were similar at all. I mean, you're talking about guys who are in the same weight division fighting each other versus a guy who's essentially moving up 3 weight divisions. Uh, the point is, Crawford isn't rattled here. Crawford seems confident. Crawford seems like he's going to be very well prepared for this fight. And over the past few weeks, I have no longer had the view, Joe, that this is any kind of a mismatch fight. I actually think it's going to be a highly competitive fight. Go for it, Joe.
You know, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
You would think on paper it would measure up to be a competitive fight,
Yeah.
but styles make fights, and I don't know. If I go back to that Amir Khan fight with Canelo, Amir Khan looked like he was having his way those first couple rounds, and Crawford's is more durable and stronger, and you could argue he's just as quick. Maybe Khan's a touch quicker. I don't know, but I could see Crawford pulling away in this fight just by getting off first, being able to keep the fight at a distance. So you would think it would be a competitive fight, and I'm hoping you're right, but can also see maybe Canelo having some problems with Crawford.
Yeah, he might have problems with him. That's for sure. We've definitely seen a Canelo who, in my eyes, has, let's just say, regressed from the Canelo we saw smashing out Kovalev. Although he did give up some early rounds to Kovalev. But you could look at the Caleb Plant fight. I don't know if you could say that the fighter who fought William Skull is the same fighter that fought Caleb Plant. But only time will tell. Here's Bomac talking about the upcoming fight. Again, this is courtesy of Marcos Villegas' Fight Hub TV. This was out in Saudi Arabia.
Qatar.
Yeah, of course.
So I've been over there a couple of times, and it just got that same feel to it. I love y'all culture, man. I love the culture.
It's great out here. I've got some important questions for you, though. The main talking point, which we're going to start with, is the weight. How have you felt him? Obviously, we're still a while away, months away. How have you felt him in the gym with this extra weight on him yet? Obviously not in camp yet, but
he's fine, man. Terrence and the team, and we know where we need to be by the time we step in the ring. We got the doctors and the scientists and the nutritionists and everybody that's in camp that's going to do their part to get where we need to get.
How much more power does he have?
He got some thudding power up there, and we're just going to sustain it for 36 minutes.
Why do you believe you've got what it takes to come up 2 divisions?
Like I told the other guy, skills pays bills. You gotta have.
Go for it, Joe. I see you're absolutely perplexed by these questions.
Why do you believe you have what it takes? I mean, is he not supposed to believe that? I don't understand it.
You're talking about a guy who was a
Why
champion.
do you believe you have what it
135.
takes? He's undisputed at 135, as you said. I'm sorry to cut you off.
You go for it. Go for it.
Undisputed at 135.
140.
Excuse me, 140. I apologize. Undisputed at 140. Yeah. Champion at 135.
Mm-hmm.
Undisputed at 147.
Correct.
Champion at 154.
Correct. Had a knockout streak out of this world while he was fighting at welterweight. Yeah.
Pound for pound fighter for years, right? Top 3, top number 1 at one point. Why do you believe you have what it takes? That's like going into surgery with a doctor that has 40 years experience. Doc, what makes you believe you have what it takes to perform this surgery? I mean, this is what he does.
Yeah.
This is what he does.
This is what he does. Let's continue.
I mean, you're punishing me, making me listen to this
Just a,
this
just a
drip,
little,
this drivel.
just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
I'm
Because
like,
it's very interesting to me when I'll be honest too. Another issue for me here with playing this stuff is I've heard so many people in the UK shit on people from the US, and I'm not saying we're great out here, but I don't think they're any better at covering the sport in England. They may do longer form stuff. They may ask about
this is
what people
easy.
are eating or what clothes they're wearing a little bit more, but I'm just not impressed with
This is
with
easy, right?
these
Listen,
interviews. Go for it.
Terrence is 38 years old.
Yeah.
Okay. Canelo's is long in the tooth too when you consider the boxing years. Do you think age and inactivity from Terrence and wear and tear from Canelo will have an impact on this fight? Great question.
Great question.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dare I say that was a Boston Red Sox or Boston Celtics level question.
Canelo was very dismissive of this fight for a while. Do you think he's going to be mentally up for the challenge, or do you think he's just taking this fight for the money? Obviously, the money's big, but how much of it is for legacy, as he says it is? Like this is not hard. It's easy.
Let's go. I'm sorry to put you through this. We're gonna go do this
I
a
could
little
just
bit
do
more.
this off the top of the head. Like this is like I could just freestyle, man. Like back in the day when we were at Washington Square Park, man, when you had the rappers battle and they just freestyle off the top.
Yeah.
I could just do freestyle.
Yeah, I freestyle all my interviews when I'm in these drums. Here we go.
Skills, man, to be going up there to fight somebody like that, like a Canelo. And not only is his offense, he's got to have defense too. You know what I'm saying? So, Styles makes fights. Bud got the better skills, and he got the better mind too.
Do you think with the styles in mind, but also the weight in mind, he can get that job done based on he's just so much more excelling in the skill?
You know what? He gonna get the job done.
Based on he's so much more excelling in the skills things. Somebody give that guy a Pulitzer because that was top tier stuff. So look, like I said, Joe, there's no hesitation here from Team Crawford. They're motivated. They seem prepared. They're going to show up ready for this fight. I have no doubt about it. Does Terrence Crawford have a little bit of Roy Jones Jr. in him, Joe? Because Roy Jones Jr., if you remember, went all the way up to fight your guy, the quiet man, John Ruiz, right? A lot of people were questioning whether he'd be able to hang up there with the quiet man straight out of the mean streets of Boston with his famous coach in the corner. Huh?
Don't make fun of the quiet man. This guy bought
he
bought football equipment for the Chelsea football team. Give him some props.
The quiet man. Anyways, Roy Jones went up there and he did have the power to earn the respect of the quiet man, John Ruiz. I think he broke his nose in that fight.
Beat him up.
So, he didn't knock him out, but he did have enough power to earn the respect of the quiet man and give himself the space, the distance, the timing that he needed to really bust up the quiet man and win by unanimous decision. Are you saying that Terrence Crawford might pull off that kind of a feat against the great Canelo Alvarez?
You know, it's crazy because people take a look at that Madrimov fight and they're very, very critical of Terrence Crawford. I think he looked good. I thought he fought a really good fight, a real intelligent, methodical fight. He controlled he was like the ring general in that fight. He fought that fight the way he wanted to fight it. You know? He did great from the outside. He was really good at counter punching. He didn't get hit a ton. And I love how his jab looked. And people look at Madrimov and they don't realize how quick his feet are, right? And he gave Virgil Ortiz all he could handle in that fight. all he can handle in that fight. It was a very close, competitive fight,
Mhm.
and he said he was a little bit under the weather. I take him at his word, but yeah, he's a solid guy. He's a solid guy. You could argue on any given day he could beat anyone at 154. He's not an easy out for anybody. So the notion, and I said it before the fight. I said this fight. I said the knockout streak for Terrence Crawford is ending with this fight because this guy's tough. He's really slick and crafty defensively.
From the Soviet school, tremendous amateur background,
Yeah.
hundreds of fights.
Yeah. So
It's
this
seen
guy
every style.
and Madrimov has the same dimensions. And another thing people don't realize is Madrimov in the amateurs fought at 165 pounds. So he legitimately could
Natural
be.
super middleweight.
Yeah, he legitimately could be a middleweight or super middleweight, or at the very least be a middleweight,
Yeah.
right? Very easily. And he wasn't small in there. He's thick, he's stocky, right? Now, if I'm gonna be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I think Canelo on the night of the fight will probably be maybe 8 pounds heavier, tops 10 pounds heavier than Terrence Crawford. Now you can argue 10 pounds is a lot, but how many times has Terrence Crawford probably given up 10 pounds? At what?
I can't think of a time when he gave up 10 pounds off the top of my head.
I'm talking about night of the fight.
No,
Like,
I know you're talking about night of the
like
fight.
you don't think
I don't.
you don't think a guy like Kell Brook was probably significantly bigger than him?
I was gonna think of either Kell Brook or Sean Porter.
Maybe Sean Porter was. Sean Porter was
Those
big.
are the two names that were gonna come to mind. But other than that,
Errol Spence. How much did Errol Spence weigh the night of the fight?
well, he would have rehydrated a lot because he looked
So-
horrible fight week.
And how many times has Floyd been the smaller guy?
Well, how many
And-
times did Floyd have the IV drips when he was a smaller guy?
That's true too. So again, I understand size is a talking point for this fight. Of course, it's going to be, but it may be overstated because we can go down the list of the times when the guy moving up in weight was the winner, right? Duran moved up, beat Leonard.
Leonard moved up,
He moved up 2 weight classes.
beat Donnie Lalonde.
Technically, Leonard moved up 2 weight classes to fight Hagler. I mean, he had like one fight before he stepped away. I think he weighed like 152 pounds, technically 150, a junior middleweight fight. But other than that, he was a junior middleweight champion before. But technically, he was a career welterweight, right?
Usyk moved up in weight, destroyed Joshua
Usyk
twice.
moved up.
Fury beat Fury twice.
Bernard Hopkins moved up and beat Antonio Tarver, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can go down the list. Like Miguel Cotto moved up. He beat Sergio Martinez. Floyd moved up, beat Oscar De La Hoya. There's so many times in history.
Erislandy Lara moved up, beat bunch of guys.
There's so many times in history where the smaller guy has beaten the bigger guy. I mean,
It really must have hurt that night when the quiet man took that L. I know that was a tough one on the city of Boston.
Roy Jones moved up.
Yeah, Roy Jones moved up.
David Hay moved up. Evander
I-
Holyfield moved up. Like, we can just go down the list.
They would be now. We would be remiss if we didn't let the champ speak. The champ being Saul Canelo Alvarez.
What those sunglasses cost?
We got a lot of haters in the building though, especially Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa might be David Faitelson from ESPN Mexico. I don't know. He's saying a lot of anti Canelo stuff. But the funny thing is, Canelo, despite what people think, Canelo's biggest haters are actually Mexicans.
The fight already sold because Netflix put up a shit ton of money for the rights fee.
Yeah.
And
It's like
over-
for Netflix, it's like funding one of their movies or TV shows. Here's the money, go make it.
Over 100 million people are going to be watching this fight globally. How many people globally watched Mayweather Pacquiao?
I don't know, 6
Not
million, 7,
not
8,
100.
not
What,
100.
7?
Yeah,
Not 100 million.
I wish Lil Penny was here to discuss this, but Lil Penny, he's obviously our down under correspondent. He's from the territory of Australia. His Auckland team has been taking a beating in the Club World Cup, FIFA. So I'm sure he's licking his wounds.
I always talk shit about people like who get financially wrapped up in the fight, caring about how much things sell, this and that.
Yeah.
Because they don't own stock in Top Rank. They don't own stock in Golden Boy. They don't own stock in Matchroom. But guess what? I do own stock in Netflix, so I'm fucking gassed up here,
Oh,
Daddy. Netflix is the 18th largest company in the world.
Really? I didn't know that.
18th largest company in the world. They have a market cap value of $500 billion.
Wow. I had
Okay?
no idea. Here's Canelo Alvarez talking about the fight. Let's have a look. Let's have a listen. This is courtesy of everyone's favorite
How much are those
UK
sunglasses?
radio
Those
station,
sunglasses cost. How much are those
Talk
sunglasses
Sport. Talk Sport UK. Here we go.
Is this?
That's of course my man Gareth A. Davies, the man, the myth, the legend. My friend Gareth A. Davies. Here we go.
I love how Gareth sets up these questions. He's like he's so dramatic. I love it though.
Yeah, he pulls up with his phone too. Here we go.
Is this, given the difference, a new type of adventure for you in your career?
Yeah, this is
That's how you do it, Joe. Not like those other guys.
New type of
Learning the
adventure.
ropes. They need to take notes, get out the pen, get out the pencils, get out the notebook, and start taking lessons from Mr. Gareth A. Davies. This is how you conduct an interview on your cell phone. Let's go.
GD.
new for me. Obviously, I'm being in big fights for a lot of time, but this kind of situation motivate myself because my goal was always make history. These kind of fights, big fights, put me in there. So I'm glad to be here.
Is there more pressure on you because you're bigger, more experienced? You're expected to win. Is there more jeopardy against you in this fight?
It's always if we're looking at this point, at this way, the pressure is always with me. If I'm moving up 2-weight classes or light heavyweight or this and that, the pressure is always in my side. No, but I've been in this situation a lot of times, and I'm just calm. I'm gonna put my best, my boxing IQ, and my experience, my best in the training camp, and just go there and win.
Tell me what makes Crawford, because you will have studied him. He told us earlier he's a fan of you.
Yeah.
Has always been. What makes him a difficult opponent?
No, he can do the both guards. He can do everything. He can counterpunch, move around. He is a complete fighter. He's a complete fighter. It's gonna be a difficult fight, but it's nothing new for me.
Tell us.
So I do want to address this comment here by our guy A. Espinosa. No relation to Steven Espinosa, I think. It's a mismatch and ain't buying that lie. Luckily, you don't have to buy it as long as you're already subscribed to Netflix. That's the beauty of this fight. Go for it, Joe.
Listen, you have a right to your opinion. If you think it's a mismatch, I mean, a lot of people thought Leonard Hagler was a mismatch. They thought Leonard was going to get killed, right? A lot of people
thought Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson was a mismatch. You never know what happens, and it's two of the biggest stars in the sport.
A lot of people thought Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank was going to be a mismatch. I think Conor Benn made a good account of himself.
Mm-hmm.
About Turkey Al Sheikh and dinner last night with Bud Crawford. You were together at the dinner with him.
Yeah, it's not what I like, but I always respect my opponents. I don't like to talk shit and being like involved in a fight.
Only if Oscar's here, maybe.
Yeah, if they with me.
Yeah, they with you, you give it back. Yeah.
That's a different Canelo.
So if Crawford you back,
yeah, it's different. It's different. But I like to respect my opponents because sometimes they talk a lot and they do nothing in the fight. So when both fighters respect each other, it's a guarantee it's gonna be a good fight.
Is this? I make the comparison in this fight between Marvin Hagler, you, and him, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
Is that fair? That comparison, a historic comparison?
Could be. We don't know. We're gonna see it to September 13th.
Will you knock him out? Do you think?
I always go there with my man and try to knock him out. Everyone. So if I have the opportunity to do it, I'm gonna do it.
Some vintage Canelo.
Yeah, vintage Canelo.
And will you fight in the UK at some point, please?
It will be a pleasure for me to fight there. We'll
You,
Right,
you
top tier work there from the one and only Gareth A. Davies.
Can I
Um,
can I also say
yeah,
Canelo's like really he's really good on the mic now.
he is.
He come. I got to be honest. I know people talk a lot of shit about Canelo. There's a lot of haters out there, and you can criticize him. If you know, no one's perfect. Everyone's open to criticism, right? And you may not like the fights, and you may not like his reasoning sometimes for not taking certain fights. But with all that being said, he's a very likable individual. I got to give him credit on that. It's hard to not like the guy, you know.
Oh, for
I think
sure.
he's a very authentic guy. I think he's
You know,
he's
you know what else
a
I give him a lot of respect for, Joe?
likable guy.
You know what else I give him a lot of respect for? Getting out of that Golden Boy contract when he discovered that things were being done against the contract. You know, a lot of people wouldn't have done that. He did it, and he didn't end up being on the shelf for ages like Mikey Garcia or Andre Ward. He handled his business like a businessman, made that quick move, and essentially emancipated himself from a contract that wasn't working for him and apparently wasn't living up to the terms of the contract. So I got no problems with that either. In fact, I think more fighters should do that. If they are in the right, which it does appear that he was. Interesting comment here. I can't disagree with it, to be honest with you. Hamza Mir. I'd love you to read this comment, Joe, because I think it's spot on. Go for it.
I love the fact Dana is promoting it.
He's actually saying he hates the fact that Dana is promoting it. Why is Dana promoting this fight, Joe? What is it that he brings to the table for this fight? Why does this fight even need Dana? I'd love you to explain.
When there's a big event,
Yeah.
you have the biggest people involved working on it. It's that simple.
So why not get Roger Goodell to work on it?
He's not a promoter, man.
He's the head of the NFL. They're the biggest sports entity in the country.
He's a yes man, that guy. Just takes instructions.
So we'll see what Dana brings to the table. It's very interesting because, like I said, up until recently, he was the guy saying that boxing was a going out of business sale, that it's a cash grab kind of situation every fight. And one of the criticisms of this fight, Joe, is that it's a going out of business sale for both Canelo and Crawford, and it's a cash grab for both of them as they exit the sport. What are your thoughts on that? A little bit of hypocrisy there, or do you see no inconsistency in Dana's prior statements and the very nature of this fight?
I mean, the business isn't going out. So
I never thought the business
isn't going out because money has been injected into it.
Yeah.
And this was before Turkey Al-Sheikh came on board, and this was before the fights were actually getting made.
Also, Turkey's like the New Testament.
Yeah.
Right? He came and it's like he's improving or getting rid of the stuff that from the Old Testament that doesn't really apply to the situation. I see. It's interesting.
Andrew Castanos.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, super chat.
Saying Joe keeps saying Hagler and Leonard, but he forgets Hagler got robbed. No, he didn't. Leonard beat him 115 and 113 on my scorecard.
And that's saying a lot because Joe's from Massachusetts.
And I like Marvin Hagler, but Ray Leonard won that fight.
Yeah. A little before my time, but I did see the fight later on. And I got to agree with Joe. I thought Sugar Ray won that fight. Although it was controversial. I think a lot of people at that time, I could be wrong because,
what happened?
I wasn't a fully, I was a very, very young when that happened. But what do you think? I mean, I think that people generally like to go for the underdog, and I think that was kind of part of it. What are your thoughts?
Oh, Ray Leonard was a sentimental favorite, but a lot of people, I didn't think. I'm a huge Leonard fan, and I didn't think he was going to win that fight.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to lose.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah, and
confirmed.
the fight doctor agrees there was no robbery.
That was a close fight.
There was no robbery.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this about this card, Joe. Does it really need a robust undercard? Do you
No.
think that Netflix, with the investment they're putting in, should demand a robust undercard here? Or do you think that they just need to just sell the hell out of this main event and that's it?
Do they have an undercard put together yet? Any
I've
fights?
heard people rumored for the undercard, but I haven't actually heard any solid fights yet for the undercard. I heard that Christian and Billy might be on the undercard.
That's
Uh,
that's
would
cool.
which be would be great. The other fight that I've heard is Bakram Murtazalia versus Josh Kelly.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that Billy might be there. I heard that Abdullah Mason might be on it, and I've also heard that Junto Nakatani might be featured on
Wow.
the card as well. So, I mean, if you get those fighters on there, I think it would be great. And Billy's fighting not this weekend, but next weekend, next Friday, actually. I actually plan to go up to Quebec City for that fight. He's going to be fighting for the WBC interim title. So if he becomes interim champion, he does theoretically get the shot at the winner of Canelo Crawford, although we all know that the WBC has a weird way of, pacifying people with these interim belts while their fighter continues to do whatever they want. Go
And,
for it.
and interestingly enough, at the press conference, Turk Al-Sheikh said he had big plans for both men moving forward. So
Yeah.
that's the good thing too with Turkey Al-Sheikh. If when fighters lose, like Joshua lost, and he brought him back. Fury lost, he brought him back. So fighters lose and they get brought back. Wilder lost to Parker, he got brought back against Zhang, right? But obviously he got beat bad by Zhang. But
Really
it's not one and done. Like the O isn't the be all end all when it comes to Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Yeah, Adames versus Janabek. I haven't seen that one rumored for the undercard, but if that's on the undercard, that would be a tremendous fight.
That would be phenomenal, yeah.
That would be a tremendous fight. Adam saying that Bakram versus Josh Kelly is almost a given, that he heard that one as well.
That's good.
And Hamza Mir agrees that they should get Nakatani on the main card. The thing is, from a business perspective, I don't really think you really need to. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want to put out a good product out there and bring people back. Because if you have a lot of trash on the undercard, I don't mean the fighters are trash. Obviously, I mean the matchups are trash. It might be a bad look for Netflix entering the boxing space. And what I do want to ask you about before we get up out of here, Joe, is your thoughts on what's going on with Top Rank. Crawford famously left Top Rank, filed that lawsuit. We talked about it on this channel. Top Rank has had the ESPN deal. Some people have said it was really good. Other people have said that they could have put better product out there on ESPN. It doesn't appear as if ESPN is going to continue with boxing. I think
or the UFC or the UFC.
Yeah. So where do you think Top Rank is headed? Because their last fight is on ESPN. I'm going to one today actually in Newark. Vito Milnecki is the main event.
Yeah.
The next one that I'm aware of is the Xander Zayas title fight for the vacant belt. That's at the end of July. And then after that, it's absolutely nothing. Nothing is on the calendar after that as it relates to Top Rank boxing. And Top Rank, I've gone on record many, many times, is my favorite promoter in the United States. I generally think they do put out a very good product, despite what the naysayers may say. Value for money. Their fights are not on pay-per-view. I mean, we got to see unification fights like Shakur versus Valdez. We got to see fighters like Arthur Betterby regularly. Well, maybe him not so regularly, but we did get to see top-tier fighters fighting on ESPN, defending title belts, unifying title belts. It wasn't all doom and gloom. So where do you think they go?
I think they'll do some work with DAZN. I don't think they could sign an exclusive deal with DAZN because I don't know if there'll be enough dates, but I do think they will get some dates on DAZN.
Mm-hmm.
I think possibly they may get some dates on Amazon. Um, I don't think they're going to give, like, as they said, like Bob said, we're not going to give one. We're not going to just have an exclusivity deal with one network. We're going to try to work a deal with 2 or 3 networks. So I could see them working with Netflix. I could see them working with Amazon, and I could see them working with DAZN.
So kind of like the Jake Paul model. You
Yeah, but I could also see, and I think this may be
Yeah.
true. I do think HBO Max may be coming back.
So the Turner deal,
I could see that. Yeah.
or is it a Turner or Time Warner? I forget what these companies
I
all.
believe Time Warner owns HBO.
Yeah, Time Warner owns HBO and the Turner networks like TNT, TBS.
Yes, correct. Is that what you were
CNN.
is that what you were referencing?
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what I was referencing. So it would be like for the broadcast fights, they'd be on like TNT Sports, which by the way, they own TNT Sports in the UK too. And then for the I guess the big fights or huge fights, they maybe put on the HBO Max app. Is that what you're saying, Joe?
Yeah. I think I don't even think it'll be on regular HBO. I'm saying it'll be on HBO Max boxing. Sort of like what Netflix.
So streaming.
I think boxing is going to be an exclusive digital streaming sport moving forward.
Wow.
I think it's going to be all platform based. I don't think you're going to see it on terrestrial television anymore.
Okay.
My opinion.
Yeah, I mean, terrestrial's tough because most of these terrestrial channels obviously sell ads, which isn't always conducive to watching sports. It's one of the reasons I can't watch amongst many. I can't watch the NFL. I can't watch the NBA. I'm always channel flipping during college football because there are just so many commercial breaks. And it's one of the reasons I love watching football as in FIFA, UEFA, like this FIFA Club World Cup that's going on right now, Gold Cup. It's all very entertaining, especially the FIFA Club World Cup, because you get to watch 45 consecutive minutes of straight action, no commercial break, and then they have a halftime. And then it's another 45 minutes of straight action, no commercial break, and then the match is over after 90 minutes. Boxing does, I think, need streaming because of that, Joe. So it's not a sport that does very well with constant commercial breaks. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I agree with you. I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yep.
Because boxing, it doesn't have long breaks.
No, and unless you're doing it between fights,
And then you're putting it on ESPN, and then sometimes you'll put a card on ESPN, and then another sporting event will run late. So there's really no time constraints when you're putting it on a platform, digital platform. You know what I mean?
they're not. I mean, I've literally had to sit through the end of a college female softball World Series game while I was waiting for boxing to start on ESPN.
And
So
even the NFL is becoming a digital platform sport because they have games on Amazon Prime now,
they with commercials though, but yes.
but much less commercials.
Yes. So JC's asking, Maestro, are you planning on going to any World Cup games? I would have loved to. I was considering going to the one in Jersey that was a couple days ago, but I wasn't able to. But that one yesterday between Bayern Munich and Boca Juniors, so that one of the top teams from Germany against one of the top teams from Argentina, was amazing. The atmosphere there. Boca didn't play as well as I would have liked them to, but the atmosphere there down in Miami, sellout crowd, was really, really good. I do also want to thank Pancho. He says, great show, guys. You just subbed. Awesome. Check out hour number 2 as well, because we're going to do hour number 2 on my channel. Sucker Punch hour number 2, my channel. We're going to be talking about Brian Norman Jr. versus Jaron Boots Ennis, because the move up to 154 isn't necessarily irreversible or concrete yet because those titles haven't been vacated. And I don't know about you guys, but I was very impressed by Brian Norman Jr. This week out there in Japan, and I think that that's a potential big fight. I'm also going to talk about a couple other things going on in boxing before we break out of here. But Joe, what are your last thoughts on Canelo Crawford, on Top Rank ESPN, or on anything else?
Yeah, I'm not really going to miss ESPN because it looked like they were just throwing boxing anywhere they could fit it on, in any old time slot, and most of the times the time slot was way too late. Whereas when you watch fights on DAZN, it's more in my time area. Even the East Coast fights, they start them at 8, whereas on ESPN they were starting them at like 10 o'clock. So yeah, I'm not going to miss ESPN. I'll be honest with you; they've never been really good for boxing, in my opinion.
There is one other thing I wanted to ask you about now that you bring up the start times, real quick. This whole thing with Oscar De La Hoya complaining that the fight is going to be earlier in the day. Personally, I don't see why that's a problem. It's a Saturday. It's not like most people are working on Saturday afternoons. I mean, I know some people are, but some people are also working Saturday night. I love afternoon cards.
Well, because
being out on the East Coast.
He's a West Coast guy. That's why.
I don't know how. He doesn't want to watch boxing in the morning. Is that his?
Yeah, he's a West Coast guy.
He can't scramble his eggs, have a cup of coffee, and watch boxing.
Well,
I wouldn't mind doing that either.
The reality of it is, he's trying to be a hater. We know that.
Yeah. So there you have it, guys. Sucker Punch hour number 1. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, as our guy Pancho did. If you are regular here, you got to make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you have that notification bell selected so you know every time Joe goes live, including tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Joe's flagship show on this channel, Ringside Reporter Live. It's Joe, Habib, it's Eric Lorda. It's Cincinnati, Ohio versus the mean streets of Boston every single week. We love it. Make sure you tune in. Even if you're out there in the UK, it's 11 p.m. your time. You could still stay up and watch a little late night boxing talk if you're out there in the UK. But we'll see you guys over on my channel, hour number 2. The link is in the description box of this video. I also just put it into the chat. You can come on over, join the party. Hit the link if you want to talk to us as well. We're always willing to have a conversation. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.